Let's take a closer look at the Holiday Darth Vader 3.75-inch figure from 2005. Varykino. If it's Star Wars, we collect it. Hello there, thanks for visiting Varykino. Christmas Day is just a couple of days away, so to get into the holiday spirit, I want to take a fun look at a festive Star Wars figure in my collection, the Holiday Darth Vader 3.75-inch figure from 2005. This is quite a nostalgic era for Star Wars collecting for me personally, because the prequels was where I really dove into collecting a full time, especially around Episode 2 and the lead into Episode 3, where we finally saw the return of Darth Vader in Revenge of the Sith. So it makes perfect sense to tie in with Darth Vader's return in Episode 3 by featuring him as the holiday figure for that year, 2005. I think it's fun that it actually has the year printed so prominently on the front of the figure. Sometimes you start to lose track of when figures came out, especially when nearly 20 years has passed. I like the fact that it's featured so prominently there on the front, nice and easy to remember. Now let's take a quick look at the backing card. So of course this was released in the prequel era. The shape and style of the backing card is very similar to the Saga collection around Episode 2, particularly in the backing card shape and the hanger. But of course we can see we have a lot of heavy inspiration from the original Kenner action figures. If I just slide this one over, I have an original Kenner Star Wars carded figure on hand. So you can see that we have the iconic Star Wars logo and that double chrome racetrack. There are some differences, of course. We have a different hanger style there, and the actual Star Wars logo is a bit bigger, and the thickness of the chrome racetrack stripes here are also thicker as well. And of course we have the festive red instead of sort of the original sort of more chrome color there. But we can see the original inspiration there, and we even have a very similar nameplate there as well, with that sort of a pill shape there, with the accent color of course being red as well. Just going to pop that one away. So we have a really nice big bubble card. Of course this is very different to vintage cards. We've just got this large front bubble here because we have a large display stand with this figure as well. Not every Star Wars figure comes with display stands, but this is special, so I really like the inclusion there. So of course I like the starry background here against the black. Of course it just really sort of ties in, because of course if we can peek a little bit in there behind, we've also got some sort of twinkling lights here in the background. So it looks like we have a Star Destroyer bridge decorated up for the holiday season. There are candles, red sort of fairy lights, and even some hanging mistletoe just in behind Vader, which I think is kind of fun. A little bit of a shame you can't see that backing card image quite as clearly because the stand is kind of hiding it a little bit, but I think that that is a little fun inclusion there. And we also have this insert inside the bubble noting Holiday 2005 edition, and the official name for this figure is Holiday Darth Vader, which of course is on the nameplate here at the top against that red accent color with that white font there as well. Now turning it over to the back, this gives us a lot of information. You can see it reads that this was the StarWarsShop.com exclusive. I am very nostalgic about StarWarsShop.com. In the prequel era, there wasn't as much really cool Star Wars merch available for us here locally in New Zealand, so we had to look abroad, and StarWarsShop.com shipped internationally for very affordable rates, so they were one of my favorite places to shop. So of course I was going to pick up some special items I couldn't find locally, like this exclusive figure. In fact, you can see that it was available on the website around about September 2005. It shipped in early December, and it retailed for $14.99 US. I think that was quite fun. And I shopped at StarWarsShop.com a lot of times around that era, so of course I threw this one into an order. So the figure itself is just a reissue of an earlier figure. It's nothing too surprising in terms of a Darth figure. We have a plastic cape and one lightsaber accessory, but what makes this figure really stand out is this fantastic metallic red coating over the entire figure, including the cape. That is just something so unique. Obviously red is a really fitting color for Darth Vader and sort of Sith and the Empire in general, but red is also a very festive color, of course, with that red and green sort of Christmassy color. So I really like the sort of all over red tone. It kind of makes me think a little bit of sort of Mustafar and Darth Vader from Episode 3 as well, of course, tying in to that release year of 2005. But the finish on this is absolutely fantastic. That metallic red, it's just a really nice finish there. And of course, we do have just a standard red lightsaber. You can see the hilt is painted not red. It's got the classic silver and black details. But something that I'm quite fond of is the fact that even after nearly 20 years, the red blade has stayed quite a nice red. Sometimes the red lightsaber blade accessories do tend to fade to a bit of a pink or an orange over time. I really like the fact that this one has stayed red because it would contrast so poorly with the strong red finish of the figure itself if this had faded. And of course, we've also got the strong red of the actual chrome racetrack design here as well. So I'm really happy that this has stayed a nice red. Just such a strong red color overall there. Now, returning to the back, we've got more red. We've got that strong red accent color here, and we can actually see the figure out of the packaging on the included stand, which features a holiday wreath with some text here in sort of a yellow or gold font here, holiday edition, with a red bow there to the side. As you can see, I'm keeping my one carded, so I like having this little image here on the back as a little bit of a reference as what it would look like if I took it out of the back. Now, if I tip the backing card up, you can kind of see that this is a hollow backing card. There are actually two layers here, which are sort of folded over here at the top, because inside the backing card, we do have a Christmas card. So of course, again, I haven't opened mine, so it's tucked safely inside, but it says greeting card included. And here we have an image of Darth Vader creating a full-size snowman stormtrooper there with happy holidays. I think that's quite fun. And I do like the fact that the image of the card is included on the back for collectors like me that are not intending to open it there. I do think we have some fun little notes down here in the bottom. Of course, we have that hyperspace logo, the Star Wars online club available around the prequel era from StarWars.com. We've got that iconic older Hasbro logo there. We also have the copyright date of 2005, and we have the marking of Rebel Alliance versus Evil Empire. I think that that's fun. Now, but the fun thing about this one is the actual kind of storyline blurb that is included here, kind of setting the scene for the scene depicted here on the Christmas card. It's kind of a little bit quirky, and I'll quickly read it. It is a festive time for the Empire. After a rough year of crushing rebel uprisings, terrorizing the Outer Rim, and choking incompetent underlings, Darth Vader decides that even a Dark Lord of the Sith needs to give in to the fun side of the Force. Donning his most celebratory red armor, he leads his Imperial forces to the ice planet of Hoth for some much-deserved holiday festivities. Vader uses his lightsaber and mastery of the Force to create the most detailed ice sculptures in the Galactic Empire, from TIE fighters to Star Destroyers. He even gives new meaning to snow troopers by creating an army of troopers from snow. Thanks to Vader's expert planning, this year's Hoth Holiday Bash is primed to be the best the galaxy has ever known. So I don't know that we get something so fun and quirky on modern Star Wars packaging, but I do think that's such a sort of a fun little capture of the era, just sort of some of the fun playfulness that Lucasfilm had with some of their collectibles there. So overall, it's a really cool figure. Of course, I kind of wish I was able to, take it out. Back in that era, I didn't have the budget to buy all of my figures twice, so I could have one to keep carded, one to open. But because of the special packaging and just how neat it looks, I've kept it safe in its bubble on its backing card all of these years, and it survived really well. So I do intend to keep it like this. But I do like to kind of get it out from my collectible room and sort of add it to a little bit of a Christmas display because it just looks so fun. We've got that green wreath in behind Vader, that fantastic red finish, and the strong sort of red logo there as well. I think it just looks really fun, and it just really reminds me of that iconic 2005 era for Star Wars collecting and the long lost StarWarsShop.com. I do miss that website. It was such a fantastic place for international collectors like me to pick up some really neat items. They did so many exclusives back in the day, and it was really fun that fans throughout the world could actually get their hands on some fun things like that. I kind of miss it. Of course, the modern day Hasbro Pulse website doesn't ship internationally to countries like New Zealand, so I do really miss the old Star Wars shop. And of course, I have items like this to remember fondly of that era. I do kind of want to jump back into collecting some more of the holiday themed ones. They do some fun ones now in the Black Series line I want to add to my collection, but this one, I gotta say, is very nostalgic and really stands out in my collection for me. So I'm enjoying having this one on display this Christmas to add some holiday festivity cheer to my Star Wars display. I think it looks really fun. So I really enjoyed just sort of highlighting a fun Christmas themed Star Wars collectible from my collection to help celebrate the holiday season this year. Can't believe it's been nearly 20 years since the release of Revenge of the Sith. Wow, the time really does pass by when you're having fun collecting Star Wars. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today as I took a look at another Star Wars collectible from my collection and had a lot of fun reminiscing about the 2005 era of Star Wars collecting. I hope you have a wonderful morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the galaxy, and let's hang out again very soon for more Star Wars fun. May the Force be with you. If you're a Darth Vader fan, I've also taken a closer look at the Celebration 3 exclusive Darth Vader figure. That video is linked here in case you haven't already seen it, as well as a whole Star Wars collectible spotlight playlist. This is the way.